Welcome, everybody. I'm here with my sister, Daughter of Christ, and today we are going to be talking about our sister Hatun of DCCI Ministries. We're going to be going over some of the recent events that have been going on in Speaker's Corner and beyond. So before we get into the topic, I just want to welcome our sister, Daughter of Christ. Sister, welcome to the stream. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you, brother. Welcome to you and to everyone who's here too. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, sister. We're very happy to have you with us today. So, our topic today, by the way, guys, 18 plus warning, not from our end, but some of the videos we're going to play will have some graphic language from the Muslims, of course. So we don't endorse the language. We don't. I wish I could have edited it so I could bleep it out, but unfortunately, there's just way too much, and so I do apologize. So if you guys have 18 under, people that you don't want to have hear bad language, I just want to give that warning. Another thing, this video might get taken down from a copyright strike. So the idea, guys, is just to spread all this information that we're going to share, hopefully within the time that we can share it. So, sister, there have been masked Muslims coming to the park to harass our sister Hatun. Maybe if you want to share with us a little bit about that, what's been going on? Are they going to debate her? I guess I kind of, I said they're harassing her, but what exactly are they doing? Just give us like a brief description, but let's save the, exactly what happened yesterday. We'll kind of go over that together, but just, past couple of weeks or so, let's say, what happens? When do these guys they started showing up? What do they start doing? Are they interested in dialogue, discussion, or what is their purpose? What's their goal?
There are a group of individuals that we noticed come to Speaker's Corner for the past few weeks. They are dressed, covered from head to toe. You can't see their faces. You can't see anything that identifies them, and they do that by design and on purpose. They have flags that they wave. They come on purpose to intimidate. They do not talk as in a conversation like I'm talking to you now. They do not debate. They do not talk about anything in particular. All they do is come and chant and harass and intimidate and break people's personal space, provoke, and mainly it seemed like a one-off thing in the beginning, but then it became clear that it was a campaign of intimidation against my sister in particular and Christians in general in Speaker's Corner. And they use a very, very aggressive language. They use threats. They have been heard to say things like, I will kill you, and using language that I can't say,
Right.
etc.
Very graphic, and I from what I understand, when they first showed up, the police actually told them that they couldn't use their masks at the park, and then that was like retracted or something. You can correct me on this, or if I don't want to give any misinformation, but from what I understand, when they first came, the police were wary. I'll just say this: they were wary of it. They were wary of them wearing the masks, and I think that they were told not to wear them. But I guess by the letter of the law, they're not actually breaking the letter of the law by having masks on, so they were just allowed to continue going to the park to with their masks on, right?
And those masks are not the masks that people use to protect the face from the virus. No, no. Those masks are they don't show anything at all. And even some of them wearing wigs, which means their natural hair can't be seen, just to eliminate any risk of you not finding out who they are. Now, if you think about it, if you want to commit a crime, that's how you dress. Cover yourself from head to toe. The only thing that
Just
can
want
be
to give a
seen is
visual on the
eye.
screen here. You guys can
Yeah.
see a little bit. We'll play a little bit of this video. Sorry, sister. I just wanted to show a visual on the screen, but you can continue. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's all I want to say, brother. You can go ahead.
Okay, so here we have, guys, a video. This is not from yesterday. We do have footage from yesterday. This is just to show you them making threats to our sister Hatun. Again, I do apologize. Really, I don't want to I don't want to publicize this language, but you'll see what I mean. It's just too much to kind of bleep everything out. Otherwise, you won't hear anything at all. So you'll see in this clip here, let me just describe it first. These guys are going to be basically like hecklers. They're going to be like, chanting, trying to overtalk Hatun so that she can't communicate to the person she's trying to communicate to. And they're going to try to, drown her sound out so that even her own microphone, her personal microphone to her camera and things like that won't be able to pick up her sound. You'll see them kind of wave. Actually, matter of fact, I'll play the video, but I just want to give you guys a heads up of what you're going to see. You're going to see this guy with the mask on right here with the hair. He's gonna be doing like a gun symbol, like a gesture, like you'll see what I mean with like his fingers, like he's like pointing a gun at Sister Hatun. And you'll see. Let me just play it out, Sister. If you can't hear the sound, just let me know. But if you can hear it, let's just let it play out. So here we go. So interesting. I actually forgot about this. We have Abbas here, the famous Abbas, saying, basically telling them not to do this, and this is against the ways of their prophet. I mean, that's not the topic of our stream today, but interesting, we do have some opposition from some Muslims here in terms of how they're approaching Sister Hatun. So Abbas has an approach which is to try to debate her. We know that he often dodges her questions. We're not trying to, this isn't about Abbas tonight, but that's one method. And then so that's one face of Islam. Then you have another face of Islam. And to me, sister, these are just both valid faces of Islam. One guy's trying to be somewhat civil, trying to debate, and then the other guys are being very intimidating, like liar, trying to chant and drain out sounds and annoy people, really just harass people. And to me, those are both valid faces of Islam. Wouldn't you agree, sister?
And let's not forget, brother, that Abbas actually stands for denying half the sources of Islam, including half the hadiths of his prophet and the tafsirs. So actually, because he rejects those things, his conscience doesn't like it. So if Muhammad himself was behind the mask, following his own commands of intimidation and violence, Abbas would be there saying, "No, you're not the prophet." So you've got one side that's the true Islam, and you've got the other side that wants to deny half the Islamic sources to make them palatable, and obviously they're both not compatible.
Yes. All right, sister, so let's continue on. There's not much else that Abbas has to say, so let's just kind of go.
This is my request to you. This is not the way of our prophet. Yeah, no, we should refuse them with intellect, not with aggression. That's not the way. This is not because that's what we want.
So our sister Hatun right there in the middle of all this.
They want the camera to see aggression, so their video people will see their video. It isn't like how they just do the same thing. So my question to your God.
So right now we have one of the Muslims. Apparently he speaks Turkish, and our sister Hatun speaks Turkish. He's actually yelling at her in Turkish, basically saying things like, you're a traitor to your country, you're a traitor to your people, things like that. I got the translation from our sister. So let's just kind of carry on. I want you guys to see as you can see, there's also police officers right here. I don't know if you can see my mouse or not, but right here. Here's a police officer. We'll see multiple police officers, and they're going to be making threats right in front of these police officers, literally right in front of the police officers. Let's see what happens.
I'm the wife of David. Once again, you will answer. I will answer your wife. David's wife has let this be settled. Let this be settled. Then I will answer you. Then I will answer you.
Seni kendinden çıkacak. Hiçbir şey yapamazsın. Hiçbir şey yapamazsın. Hiçbir şey yapamazsın.
Hatun, answer my question.
Hiçbir şey yapacağız ki.
So he's actually threatening her right now. She's about to summarize exactly what he's saying. I want you guys to, sorry for keep pausing, but I want everyone to be engaged exactly what's going on here, and then we're going to show how this is going just beyond just making threats. It's going beyond just yelling liar, liar, liar. It goes way, way beyond that, and that's what we're here to share tonight. So let's just continue on.
I'm a Muslim. I tell you to sit down, Muhammad, I'm not going to force myself upon you. If you want to run from it, fine, run. I don't want to force myself upon you.
No. Take the answer. Come on, stay here. I'll answer you. I'll answer you. Come on, I'll answer you.
All right, so he's saying Hatun's name, but as you can see, he's emphasizing on the 2-2, and he's making gestures with his hands, like gun gestures, right, sister? You can, I mean, that's like pretty clear from the video, right? That's exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, and it's so aggressive. You could feel the anger even behind the mask. Brother, what is the intention? Why do you think he left his house to come to the park? He did that exactly so he can find Hatun and intimidate her in her own language, which implies that, oh, we know where you come from.
Exactly. Another way of intimidation.
Yeah. And why are the police officers standing around like grandmas who are too scared to interfere? You've got our best interfering, but the police are not saying stop.
Right. Okay, so it continues on. Okay, so a lot of this isn't in English. I forgot about this, but basically, from what I understand, they're just kind of insulting her, calling her a traitor to her country, a traitor to her people, your family's a Muslim, all this stuff, typical things. But then they actually get into making threats right in front of the police officers. Here we go.
Let me show you your picture. This is the truth here. Here it.
Mohammed is false. You're irritating. No one's listening to you. Shut up.
These are yours. These are yours. Clear cut terrorist. A clear cut terrorist.
So again, we can see them getting right in this brother's face. Again, I don't know if you can see my mouse. Can you see that, sister?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can see they're getting right in his face. Well, obviously, it's the back of his head, but what I mean is they're getting right in front of him. They're obviously pushing on him. Like, this guy's chest is like on his back, and then you got this other guy right here. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So all these guys right there, they haven't, unless it was in Turkish, they haven't made the clear threats yet, but they make clear threats coming up very soon. But you can see they're not afraid to, touch on people. They're not afraid to push people. They're not afraid to do any of that stuff. And this is not an isolated incident, and this isn't even the worst. This was just meant to show like an introduction of who these people are. But, let's just continue on, and then we'll get to the rest.
Annem Müslümandı. Annem Müslüman. Acısı değil mi? Aynen. Acıyor söylediğiniz. Aynen. Gözlerinden belli oluyor. Gözlerinden belli oluyor. Gözlerinden belli oluyor. Muhammed hakkında konuşma. Senin annen hakkında konuşuyoruz. Annen hakkında konuşuyoruz.
So this is an obvious defense mechanism. You know, someone insults Muhammad, calling him, you know, you can call it an insult or whatever, calling him a pedophile, and then he turns around and he starts calling him a pedo, and he, you know, is chanting it at them. They do that often. They chant, you know, these, whatever you say about Muhammad, basically they try to say against you. So, any comments, sister?
I just want to emphasize that these are not people just walking past in the park. These are people who have orchestrated coming together, dressing the same, and coming after one person and doing it. And they stand there for hours. And as you will show later, brother, it doesn't end in Speaker's Corner. And they come every week. Who's behind them? Who has inspired them or told them to do so, or maybe even paid them to just go after one person, one group, which is my sister and her brothers and her group, brothers and sisters in her group, and to keep doing it for hours, persistently. You see, they turn from Hatun to the other brother with the white hair, turn back to Hatun. It's to stop her from whatever conversation she was having with our best. It's finished. She can't give her attention to what she wants to say. And so to ensure that people aren't hearing it, her arguments, and also I'm thinking, I'm fearing the worst. It's actually to do more later on, to actually intimidate her and make her fear for her own safety.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. That's definitely what's going on. There's probably a group of people that, like you said, they're behind this. I don't think these guys just woke up one day and they just all got together, because as we're gonna see, it's not like these are all a group of Sunni Muslims who are just, you know, all friends and they're like, you know, coming together to, you know, protect the honor or to protect Muhammad or something like that, or protect Islam. No. What we're going to find out, what we're going to see is that these are actually a mix of Sunni and Shia Muslims who are known for persecuting each other, for killing each other, blowing up each other's mosques in Muslim countries. They're willing to come together as Sunni and as Shia, and we're going to hear them explain from their own mouths. They're going to explain this to us later on, Lord willing. We'll get to the clips where they're going to tell us that they are mixed Sunni Shia. They're coming together to take on Islam's enemies, starting with Hatun. So who's organizing these people, bringing them together to do this? It's not like, you know, you just go to a mosque and you just, you know, raise awareness and say, hey, we have Christians at Speaker's Corner saying arguments and saying things about Islam that we can't answer. So can some of you guys come down there and help us out? No, these are Muslims who go to different mosques. These are Muslims who are in different circles. Muslims who in other contexts would be debating with each other. They would be fighting with each other. They'd be arguing with each other.
Right.
In other contexts, they'd be killing each other. But they're coming together here. Go ahead, sister.
I have a theory, brother, because a few months ago, I saw a certain Dawa gang Sunni Muslim named Shamsi speaking to a certain Dawa gang Shia Muslim named Modine. And they were doing the usual Sunni against Shia fighting. And then they said, why are we fighting amongst each other? There's a bigger insult to Islam, Hatun.
Yes.
That video is out there. And then the Shia said, I will defend my religion, meaning a veiled threat against our sister. And so did the Sunni. So you see, when the devils fight amongst each other, they come to an agreement to be against the truth.
Exactly. Yeah, and if anybody wants to put that video up in the chat to any of the mods, if you guys want to search for that video where Shamsi is encouraging this Muslim to really attack people who are insulting Islam, and they actually mention Hatun by name. You guys,
Right.
feel free to put that in the chat.
Yep.
So yeah, let's just we have about like, you know, another 2 minutes or so of this video. Let's just finish up. Maybe we won't finish the whole thing, but I just want to get to the part where they make clear threats. Again, I apologize for the language.
Dönek buradan yürü git.
Ne yapacaksın? Ne yapacaksın? Hiçbir şey yapmayacağım. Officers, I want to express.
Okay, so he just threatened her in Turkish, and immediately she confirmed what he was saying, and then she turned to the police officers and told them that they're threatening her, that this guy's threatening her in Turkish. Right there, right in front of the police, telling them he's threatening me. They're right in front of the police making these threats. And let's see what happens. What do the police do? So he's saying, why don't we step over here, get this written down? It doesn't even acknowledge the fact that like, I don't know how to understand this. So you tell the police officer this guy's making threats, and he doesn't even acknowledge anything that you're saying. He just says, okay, let's step over here, we'll write some stuff down. I mean, to me, the first thing you would do is talk to the guy, right? You would get confirmation or something, be like, were you just making threats? Because if you get her to walk away, all of a sudden he leaves, he's gone, right? Am I missing something, or what's going on?
I don't know what's this writing stuff down, or is he writing a novel? Where I come from, if someone's threatening, or if a lady walks up to the policeman and says, this person's threatening me, the policeman goes with her to the person threatening, tries to find out, rounds everybody up if needed. They take them to they take them back to the station, and they question them. And if need be, they stay overnight in a cell. Yeah. They don't take the victim to the side and say, let's go write a poem together. Like, this is some sort of this is the UK police, guys.
Oh, so unfortunate. I mean, it's crazy. So, all right. So we see it there. Muslims make threats. They're also, making these gun gestures with their hands, making these like gun sounds like 222 and pointing gun symbols and gestures and things like that at Sister Hatun. Let's go to our next video. So now we're going to fast forward. We're going to fast forward sometime now, a couple weeks. This is yesterday. Yesterday evening in the UK. So the video is a bit dark because they were at Speaker's Corner. You can see the sun. Sorry about that. You can see the sun just setting. So it's probably like around 6-7 o'clock UK time. And this is just yesterday. And again, this is not an isolated incident with these Muslims, these masked Muslims. It's not an isolated incident with them. No, this is something that they do every time Hatun is there, that I've seen in the past number of weeks. They've been there. So we're just giving you one example of how they act when they're there. So now we're fast forwarding to last night, UK time, 6-7 p.m. in the UK. Hatun is going to address some police officers. Again, it's really hard to see, but you can kind of make out his neon jacket in the image here, but you'll be able to hear it. So here we go.
What is the plan? Yeah. For a group of masked men are coming as a mob to Speaker's Corner since end of July, almost every week.
Okay, so she gives us the dates there. This is the timeline, and she's saying, what's the plan from the police? Is there any plan at all? Anything that you guys are working on? What's going on with these masked Muslims? That's what she's asking the police if the audio wasn't clear.
Okay. They didn't come for 2 weeks, but they are coming back. So what is the plan for it?
They're not breaking any laws, so
they're not breaking any laws. All right, that's the first response. If I'm not mistaken, it's like the only thing that we hear from this police officer on this topic. But let's just listen to our sisters from her very own mouth, the concern. Let's hear what she has to say.
Are breaking laws. I told a police officer earlier that I saw one of them attack one of the Christians. He stamped on his foot, drove his knee into him. The Christian just...
So one people there, he's reported an incident to a police officer because this officer just said that they're not breaking any laws. In other words, what he's saying is just because they're wearing a mask doesn't mean they're breaking a law. There's no laws against wearing masks. That's what he's saying. And then this guy is retorting, and he's telling the police officer that no, they have attacked people, stomping on people's feet and drawing their knees into people. So he's telling them, no, they've done things and they've been reported. So it's not true that they're not breaking any laws. Let's continue.
I did report it.
Why is
to
there
the
only two police officers in the park
Sir.
at this time of night?
Yeah.
Why is there only two police officers here at this time of night? Darkness is coming. There's only two of you in the whole park. Why? Can you answer that, please?
There's not only two of us.
There's only two of you. What, is there undercover?
It's up for people on the radio, sir, isn't there?
Right, no, but wait, there's only two uniformed officers here. Yeah. Right?
Well, there was four here earlier.
Yeah, well, where
Did
are
you
they gone?
speak to them? Did you speak
come
to
on,
them earlier?
night time's come.
All right, sister, how many people, just roughly, I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but just roughly, how many people are at Speaker's Corner? Let's just put it like this. Is two police officers enough to take care of an incident that happens, or four, let's just say 4 police officers, is that enough to take care of an incident that happens at Speaker's Corner if something were to happen right now in this video?
We've seen incidents in Speaker's Corner before where there were hundreds of people in Speaker's Corner.
Hundreds, right.
Hundreds, yeah. I don't care how many police officers are there, brother. If there are 2 or 200, they just stand there like lampposts. They don't do anything. So to me, it's the same, yes. But it would help just their presence, I guess. The visibility of law enforcement is good, even though Muslims know that they don't do anything. Brother, if I can comment on, he said they're not breaking any law.
Yeah, please, sister. Anything you want to comment on, go right ahead.
What law was Hatun breaking when she got arrested many times before? Since when does the law mean anything when they want to remove someone or arrest someone? If it was so, obviously a hateful, intimidating mob, if they wanted to, they could say, you're breaching the peace. Remember those words, breaching the peace, that they used to remove our sister before when she was just stood there wearing a Charlie Hebdo shirt. So she was wearing a Charlie Hebdo shirt. That was enough to break the peace for her to be arrested, even though she wasn't breaking any laws. Now we've got a Muslim mob coming since late July every week, stamping on people's feet, getting in their faces, chanting in their faces, using foul language, using F words, using foreign language to intimidate, and to actually using threats, saying I will kill you, and they haven't broken any laws and not even challenged by the police.
Yeah.
Can someone explain that to me?
Yeah, what do they have? So I guess the question we could ask is, what must they do for the police to actually remove them? Like, what else could they do? Like, what haven't they done, right? Like, these guys, they threaten people, they intimidate people. They're not there to debate, dialogue, or anything like that. I'm not saying if you go to Speaker's Corner you have to do those things. I'm not saying at Speaker's Corner you can't be a heckler. But what I'm saying is, if you're going to push people, if you're going to drive your knees into people, if you're going to stomp on people's feet, they have these flags that they carry around. They have the Palestinian flag and the Kashmir flag, and they are like these long flagpoles. I bet that they're not really there to just wave around these flags. I bet that those flags are there to be used as weapons if they wanted to use them as weapons.
We got Muslims themselves like Abbas saying stop it. They were having a peaceful, lively discussion until that mob came and literally breached the peace. Literally. And they haven't broken any laws, but there's a breach of the peace law that my sister broke by standing there
by wearing a shirt that they didn't like.
She didn't have a flagpole that she could use as a weapon. She didn't have a mask on her face that no one knew who she was. She didn't shout the F word in people's faces, and she was arrested multiple times.
Yeah. Okay, so now let's hear Sister Hatun. I believe it's coming up. She's going to put in her own words the concern. Here it is.
I just want to express my concerns regarding
I'm safe.
being caused stress and then harassment and then pushing around, and then I don't feel safe for my brothers at Speaker's Corner because of the attitude of masked men at Speaker's Corner.
And they were pushing us. They were pushing me as well. They were pushing other Christians.
What their face looks like. You don't even know who they are. When they chop someone's head off on the tray or on the restaurant, I don't know who's going to take responsibility for the blood of those individuals.
There's no law against wearing a mask in public.
That's his only retort. That's it. that's her concern. My heart breaks. I like honestly, my heart breaks when I hear her say these things because you can just hear she has deep concern for her brothers and sisters. She didn't even say for myself. She's concerned for her brothers and sisters, the people who are on DCCI, the people who are on her team. She's concerned for their safety. She's concerned that these guys will follow them. She's concerned that these guys will attack them. She's concerned that these guys will, like she said, might even follow them onto to a train and chop their heads off or something like that. That's her concern, and it really breaks my heart to hear that, sister. So his response to that, her heart-filled concern is they're not breaking any laws. Like that's all he has to say. That's all he has to say. He's not trying to comfort her and say, hey, we'll send an officer to watch you off as you walk away to the park. Whatever they can do, right? Like if someone's concerned for the well-being of themselves or their friends or colleagues, whatever, if they're concerned for their well-being, then the police officer says, well, they're not doing anything wrong. They're not doing anything wrong. They're not breaking any laws. That's all he has to say. He's not even saying, hey, I'll go out of my way. I'll walk you to wherever you need to go. I'll walk your friends wherever they need to go. I'm not saying, he has to, walk them home, but let's say they need to get onto a bus or to a train or to this or to that, to an Uber, whatever. He's not even willing to do that. He just say, they're not breaking any laws.
Wearing a mask? Are they just trick-or-treating, Halloween, celebrating, people just walking through the park, minding their own business with a mask? Is that what's happening? Because if that's what's happening, we wouldn't be worried about it. Someone is telling him, her brother was telling him, they were pushing on me. They stepped on someone's foot. They drove their knee into me. They get so close. They actually did follow people on the train, and as we'll see later, they did follow people into restaurants. If there's a crowd, they're all masked. They've got a weapon. They stab someone dies, and they walk away in the scuffles. Where? That's what my sister was saying. Where does the blood of that person go? Whose responsibility is it? No one knows who they are.
Right, exactly. We don't know what these. I mean, well, I guess I can't say that anymore. But we don't know these guys' names. We don't know what's anything about them. The police officers don't care to take down names or to say, "Hey, you're making threats. You're pushing people. You're doing this. You're doing that. Let me just write down your name in case an incident happens. Now you have something, at least something to fall back on. Well, now what? But like, let's say someone gets attacked outside of the park. Someone gets harassed, stalked outside of the park, and they can only identify them as, oh, this masked man. And now he's been going to the park for the past couple of months now.
Yeah,
couple of months.
No, yeah.
And since he's completely hidden his identity to the police officer. I'm not saying make it public. I'm not saying make it public or anything like that. What I'm saying is to the police officers, they're receiving these complaints, right? Why wouldn't they take note of who these people are? It just doesn't make any sense.
Not even, how they're just speaking, having a conversation now. Why couldn't the police officer put them to the side and just have a conversation? I didn't see a police officer take them and say, look, your voices are really loud. You're using foul language. You're pushing it onto people's personal space. It comes across as harassment and intimidation. Calm it down. Like at least a reasonable, any kind of challenge. At least do what our bears did, for goodness sake. And say, look, this is unreasonable, at least, or bad, or you're making people uncomfortable. Nothing. Zero. That's why I want to say, guys, the police in the UK are not neutral. The police in the UK are not neutral. They are pro the protected group and against the other. And you can see on the, like you said, the lack of compassion in that policeman's face. A woman is saying, a group of masked men, a mob, is making me feel unsafe, and I'm worried someone might die on the train or back or being followed to places. And there was like this coldness. There's nothing from the other side.
No, actually, go ahead, sister. Just let me just mute my mic real quick. Go ahead.
That's also that's what I want to say is unfortunately there is a real thing called Christophobia. I know Muslims love to say Islamophobia, and I'm not taking that from them, the term from them, but this is real. The lack of And if you imagine the other way around, if it was a Muslim woman in a hijab with a group of masked men who claim to be Christians around her, using foul language and threatening her, imagine the difference.
Yeah. Sorry for
The,
that,
po-
sister.
the policemen wouldn't be stood there saying they haven't broken laws, would they? It would be all over the news. But this is, we are in the UK in the 21st century with Christophobia rampant against Christians. Christian women, Christian men are not safe in the UK because the police, the law enforcement is not neutral.
Yes. Actually, I was gonna comment on something that you said earlier about, you know, if the police would just speak to them as Hatun is speaking to them right now. I've actually seen streams where they do speak to the police, and the police are telling jokes with them. They're sitting there telling jokes with them, and they're basically apologizing because one of the police officers was, you know, kind of, I guess he was saying that they weren't allowed to wear a mask at Speaker's Corner, and then I guess he found out that they were allowed to or something like that. He's basically apologizing to them, and then they start telling jokes with each other. So it's just like, what kind of world is this? Like, is everything's backwards? It's like the guys who are making threats, the guys who are actually attacking people, pushing people, threatening people. These guys are you know, telling jokes with the police and, you know, being friendly with the police. And then to the people who are being victimized, they're being, you know, like they're being like, you know, just kind of like shoved away by the police. You know, they're like, oh, you know, they're not breaking any laws. Go ahead, like, keep going, like, continue your, you know, go on, carry on with your day, basically.
Abbas is here in the chat, brother. He's saying these masked Muslims are wrong and should be condemned. I myself said to police they should not be allowed with masks at Speaker's Corner, but police ignored me. Abbas, they're doing what the Antichrist Islamic spirit is telling them to do. And if you're really against that kind of behavior, you shouldn't be a Muslim. Why is it only Muslims who, why isn't there a Christian mob doing the same, wearing masks and intimidation? Because we don't have that kind of spirit that Islam has that inspires that kind of nonsense. So, yeah, why isn't there a Christian doing those things? And ask yourself why if it was a Muslima in her shoes, that it would have been different. And the reason is because the anti-spirit spirit that's in those Muslims that are in the same that in those policemen as well.
Yeah, the same spirit operates in them, all the unbelievers. All right, so let's just go on for a couple more seconds here, see what happens. I think the police officers just end up walking away. Like, that's their response to their concerns. Literally, like, watch this. Oh, I just rewinded it. I lost my place. All right, so I'm pretty sure if you go back, I won't be able to find the exact timestamp that I was at, but if you go back, you guys will see that the police actually just walk away from them. Now let's go on. Now we're outside of Speaker's Corner. Now we are now at a restaurant outside of Speaker's Corner. Okay, and let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. You'll see that there's going to be two angles on the screen. On the left side is going to be the masked Muslims live streaming. The masked Muslims are live streaming. Is my connection okay, sister? Hello?
Yes, brother. Sorry.
Oh, I get something saying pop up on my screen, said my connection was all bad. Sorry about that. The StreamYard thing, it messed me up. Sorry. I lost my train of thought. Okay. So yeah, you'll see two angles. You'll see on the left side, the masked Muslims are actually live streaming themselves harass Sister Hatun and DCCI ministries. And then on the right side, we're going to see an angle from members of DCCI ministries. And we're going to see, this is outside of the park now. The Muslims have actually followed them outside of the park. They followed Hatun outside of the park. Check it out. So again, just so it's not confusing, left side, the Muslim live streamers doing their angle. Right side, so it's the back side, so front side, back side. This is the right side is from DCCI, you know, their angle from inside the restaurant. So right side inside the restaurant, left side outside of the restaurant.
Oh, shit.
All right, so these guys are outside of the restaurant now. They followed Hatun and her team outside of Speaker's Corner, outside of Speaker's Corner. Or this is last night. Last night at a restaurant outside of Speaker's Corner, the Muslims show up. That's not my music. That's not my, backtrack. These guys are actually playing it on the streets. They're out there dancing, waving their flags, the Palestinian and Kashmiri flag. And they have provided us with some content from their own live stream. So let's go to their live stream. And if this does get copyright strike and this gets taken down, our hope is that you guys just will pass on this information. These guys are known to copyright strike, but I'm willing to risk the strike because I want to expose these Muslims. So let's start it out. This is from their live stream. Again, I apologize for the language. This is from their live stream, and let me just make sure what time I want to play it at. Let me go back a little bit. I wrote down some of the marks here, so let's just start like right here. So these guys, again, these are the masked Muslims outside of the restaurant. They followed Hatun and her team to a restaurant outside of Speaker's Corner. I mean, I keep saying it because it's just like, these guys are literally stalking, harassing. All right, so here we go.
She'll come out. Oh, she's leaving. I can see them in the mirror. She's leaving.
They fighting.
What? Oh, shit. Get him, man.
The Palestinians go inside.
Go. Come, man, leave.
All right, so we have it right there. Again, we're going to go to other clips as well in this stream. But they're saying to people, just random people in the restaurant, and this is a Middle Eastern restaurant, so the people who are going to be eating there, not necessarily everybody's going to be Middle Eastern, but these particular people who are eating there are Middle Eastern, and so you can they're making the assumption that they're Muslims, so they're just going to random people in the restaurant. They're going to random people in the restaurant saying, these guys are from Speaker's Corner. They expose Muslims. That's what he said, right? Did I mishear him, sister, or did he say they expose Muslims?
Sometimes they tell the truth. She does expose Muslims, yes.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty funny, like the language she used. Like, they expose Muslims.
They're exposing us. You're going to let her eat next to you?
Yeah, they're exposing us. And I think he said, they call Muhammad a pedophile. And then the waiters or the managers, whoever, the people who work at the restaurant just kind of shoved them out. So, so any comments on that, sister, or should we go to the next part? Like you can comment on the whole situation because I didn't really give you a chance to speak. Like, they're actually outside of Speaker's Corner now. They follow them to the restaurant. So go ahead, your thoughts.
I'm like in the Twilight Zone. I can't believe that I'm even commenting on this. These thugs we've left Speaker's Corner now. This is to the police. Yeah, they ain't breaking any laws. They followed her to the restaurants. They're inciting violence from strangers, saying, yo, she's exposing our religion, bro. You're gonna let her you're gonna let her get away with it, and she's just eating. Abbas. Oh, this is not our religion. This is not our religion. Yeah, we know the game. You split yourselves to play different roles. You got your peaceful Muslims saying it's not our religion, and you got the guys who get their hands dirty and do the real work after everything is done, after the person's killed. It's not Islam. Islam is a religion of peace. Yeah, we know the mafia's roles. Each one of you has a different role, and we know the game. If Islam was really about peace, then the spirit of peace would have taken care of these guys. But obviously they run rampant, and the UK allows you, police allows you. So congratulations. But you know what? The Lord is on the throne. Brother, you can continue.
All right. Oops. Sorry, I'm putting some comments on the screen. I see our brother Sophia Films commenting, they are intimidating and harassing. That is against the law, because going back to the police officer saying they're not breaking the law. Well, here we are. They're intimidating and harassing. And so CTDTX says that The police in London are pathetic, scared of Muslims. That's another point. Where are these police officers? Where are these police officers? You guys can see, we're not going to go through the entire live stream, but there's 56 minutes. 56 minutes. Imagine, imagine they're out there for 56 minutes.
They're streaming themselves for a whole hour.
Outside of the restaurant, and no police at all show up. Nothing.
I know what the police are doing, brother. They're stepping out somewhere, writing something down.
Yeah.
They're in the
Step
station, they're stepping
ready.
aside in the station, writing a novel. That's what they're doing.
Ugh. Okay, let's continue. And again, sorry for the language, people, but these are the Muslims.
We're not finished yet.
I don't give a fuck, bro. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Wallahi, I'm savage.
Just wait for it to come out, man.
Wait for her to come out. Wait for her to come out. What do you think these guys in masks want to do? Wait for her to come out. Well, we don't have to guess. We don't have to make any assumptions. We'll actually listen to them in their own words what they're going to do. Are they there to debate Hatun? No, they could have done it at the park. Are they there to converse with Hatun? No, they could have done it at the park. Are they there to, apologize to Hatun? Hey, we're sorry for, bumping into your friend. We're sorry for pushing your friend. We're sorry for stomping on people's feet. We're sorry for, screaming at you. We're sorry. No. What are they going to do? What are they going to do that they don't want to do in front of the police in the speaker's corner? Not that they wouldn't be able to get away with it, because unfortunately we've seen many crimes be committed in front of the police in speaker's corner, and they just get away with it. Any guesses, sister, before we hear from them?
What? Yeah, remember, brother, they're not breaking any laws up until now, apparently. And notice that they've been with her from morning till night.
Yeah.
And they're recording themselves, which tells you that they're doing this for some kind of glory or as evidence to whoever's paying them or inciting them, pushing them to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They're not normal Muslims who got heated up in the moment.
Right.
They are been with her from morning till night.
And they want to do something to her outside of the restaurant that they couldn't do at the park.
Yeah, they're not letting it go. They've been inside, didn't work because they got kicked out. So now we're going to wait for her outside to finish the job, yeah?
And this guy actually goes inside. He actually goes inside the restaurant to where they're eating. And, then you can see, at the beginning of this, I showed that you have, the waiters or the managers or the people who work at the restaurant. They're kind of, pushing them out, escorting them out. And then on their way out, they're yelling at the other people, other customers. All right. So here we go. Let's listen to this.
Oh, yes, see.
Hold on a second. This guy right here, I have something to say about him. Hold on one second. I have something to say about this guy. Just give me just one moment, guys. All right, so we are at 10:24. We're gonna go back to that. Just look at this guy. Look at this guy right here. Hold on.
Oh, yes, see.
Okay, this guy right here. This guy right there, he's with the masked Muslims. Let's see what he does when he's at the park. Let's see what he does.
Muslims and sisters to be killed. It is Islam. It is not me. Muhammad is terrorist. Muhammad is terrorist. Terrorists are terrorists. According to Surah.
So they're calling her a terrorist. I mean, the irony of all ironies. These Muslim thugs are calling her a terrorist. Let's listen. Let's keep going on till we find our friend there.
What is all the terrorist people that they fund in your Hatun? What is the terrorist people that they send in your donation?
So this guy actually shows his face. He actually shows his face. And by the way, when I said our friend, that's just a colloquialism. He's not actually our friend. I just couldn't think of a word to say. I don't know what his name is or anything like that. So I was saying, let's wait till we find this guy. So here he is, right there, joining them, calling her a terrorist. Look at this.
The people who dictate are supporting terrorists, Hatun.
Okay, so he's saying that Hatun is a terrorist. Let me go back. Hatun is a terrorist, and those who support her are terrorists. Now, I just wanted to. I mean, seeing that guy just reminded me to play that clip. Like, imagine, sister, they're calling her a terrorist. This guy's calling her a terrorist. Those who support her are terrorists. What are they doing right now?
If I had to look up the dictionary and see what terrorism means, I'll find all their faces. Brother, this is a very Islamic thing. You do this, the Islam or the people in Islam do something that isn't Islam, and then they call the other people that.
Right. It's like that guy, like the brother who said, Muhammad's a pedophile, and they start calling him a pedo.
So
Like,
Muhammad's own child bride Aisha said yes, climbed on top of me when I was 9, and yet it's them that point the finger with the pedophile. Muhammad himself said about himself in Sahih Muslim 523, I have been helped by terror. It means I have been helped by terror, meaning from Allah. So he is been given that he puts terror in people's hearts by Allah. Yeah, we all know how that is, and yet all the terrorists in the world, and they blow themselves up. No one says Jesus Akbar. Yeah, they say Allahu Akbar. We all know what religion they
and
are.
those who support Hatun, are terrorists.
Apparently, and we all know there are some Dawa gangs in Speaker's Corner who have been arrested, who have been imprisoned, who are in prison right now for being related to terrorism actively.
Wow.
They've actually done stuff. So
calling Hatun a terrorist and those who support her terrorists, and then what they do is, these guys who are saying that she's a terrorist, I actually forgot that they were all chanting it. I thought it was only that one guy, but they were all chanting it, all these guys with their masks on, and the only reason why he stuck out to me is because he wasn't covering his face, so I guess that's why I remembered him. But yeah, he was calling her a terrorist, he's saying those who support her are terrorists, and yet what he does is, they wait for her to leave the park, they follow her, and obviously, I mean, Hatun, our sister, is smart, her team is smart. They're not just gonna, walk somewhere like with a Muslim right behind them, right? They're not gonna let them. So these guys are being sneaky, right? They're like, waiting for them to turn a corner, and then they're kind of like, turning their heads, peeking around the corner, whatever it is. I don't know the way to get to the restaurant, but they're following them to this restaurant in a sneaky way. Then once they get to that restaurant, they are outside waiting to do something to her. They're waiting for her to get out of the park, and we're gonna find out what exactly they want to do to her.
Yeah, that's just like our brother Sophia Film says, it's projection. When you lie, you think all people are liars. When you cheat, you think everybody's a cheater. When you're an abuser and a terrorist and your heart is full of darkness, you think it's the same with the other. Where actually you can't, they're so deluded, they can't actually see that what they're doing is that exactly, and more, as you will show soon.
Right. All right, so let's continue on.
Oh, yes, see.
Look who's there.
This guy is the Shia Muslim. He's not Sunni. Let's listen to what they have to say.
Go to Hatun. Go to Hatun.
I want all of us to be united and watch how fucking
All right, so he's saying that he wants us to all be united. Again, Shia Muslim saying he wants us to all be united. He wants Sunni and Shia to all be united to do what? I'm obviously not going to repeat his language, but you heard what he said. He has a united purpose to, do something, I'll use a euphemism, I'll say, to mess them up. To mess them up, right? Any comments, sister? Is there any like doubt in what they're waiting to do? Is there any like
no, brother, because apparently they haven't broken the law, and it's us that are terrorists. But there are a group of mobs that are waiting outside the restaurant, uniting, to mess them up. So
yeah.
So they're the victims, yeah.
Yeah.
Go on, then.
Okay.
These are the protected group, guys. You can see how much protection they need.
Yes, they're so protected. These guys are so protected. They don't even need. Okay, let me just continue on. Okay, let's continue on.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Suleiman, stop chatting, man. Stop chatting about Rafada and that, man. At least
All right, so basically, the Sunni Muslims in their live chat are using kind of slurs to insult Shia Muslims. I don't know, sister, if you want to expand on that a little bit, but the Sunni Muslims who are usually this thuggish and this adamant about and this aggressive about their religion, usually the Sunni ones, they're very anti-Shia, and usually it's the other way around too. Like usually the Shia ones who are very adamant and very aggressive in their religion and their approach. Like what I mean is they actually believe in it. They actually believe in it and they really hold fast to it, and they're willing to go out and to like intimidate people and to threaten people. Usually those people are very, sectarian, let's say. Like if they're Sunnis, they're only stick with Sunnis, and not just with Sunnis and Sunnis, like specific types of Sunnis. Right? And so yeah, go ahead, sister, if you want to expand on that at all.
Brother, God bless you. You're so proper. I'll tell people for people who don't understand. The guy said, "Hey, Salaman, don't be talking about Rafida, yeah." Rafida, I know because I was Sunni Muslim, is a derogatory term that we use for. Sorry, I say we. We used to use for Shias. Muslim Sunnis used to use for Shias. Rafida means rejectors. So Sunni Muslims see the Shias as rejectors. They're basically rejectors of the first two caliphs, rightly guided caliphs, Abu Bakr and Umar, whom the Sunnis love, but the Shias hate because they think that Ali should have been the rightful successor of Muhammad and not Abu Bakr and Umar. So they call him. So he's telling him, yeah, don't be chatting about Rafida. Yeah, don't be calling our Shia brother here derogatory terms, because remember they all need to be united against Hatun now. They can't be fighting amongst themselves. So that's what's happening.
And they need all of these guys for our sister Hatun. Now, thankfully, our sister Hatun, as you saw in the other video, she's not alone. Thankfully that she has brothers and sisters who are with her. Yeah. Not as many as there are Muslims surrounding them, but what do you think that these guys all masked up? These guys are all energetic. You'll see them dancing around like doing dubke and like playing music really loud and stuff, and they're all like powered up, all hyped up. What do you think that these guys are gonna do? Well, we don't need to guess any longer. He just told us. I'm using the G-rated version. He said that they're gonna mess them up. So let's continue on. Here we go.
at least he's confronting the Christians, Shush, man. Please, man. Oh, look, they're filming us. They're filming us. They're filming the waiter.
The way I stuck it on Hatun, the way I shot around, no one ever has. You was there, what you saying, bro?
Yeah, what you saying, man? You good, yeah?
Alhamdulillah, bro. Alhamdulillah.
Just the last thing we need, Suleiman, yeah? We need unity now, you get me, man? Just allow this Rafida thing. Just deal with the enemies of Islam first. And then if you have beef with if you lot have beef, yeah, or problems or religious or whatever, then you can solve it.
There we go. Very clear. He's at least he's articulate when he's spelling out his goals. At least we don't have to listen to them chanting and saying liar, 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 pedo. Like they're very articulate when it comes to expressing what they want to do. These guys are very clear. Take care of Islam's enemies first. Take care of their enemies first. How are they going to take care of them? Well, they're not going to go to Hatun and have a theological debate, right? Because now we have Shia and Sunni who have different theologies. They have different understandings of who their God is. So they're not going to unite together and have a theological debate with her. They're not going to come together and have just a regular conversation with her and say, we want to have a talk with you about your approach and your style. No, they're not going to do that. What are they going to do? He said, we're going to, G-rated version, we're going to mess them up. We're going to mess them up. So, so their idea of taking on the enemies of Islam, once you defeat the enemies of Islam, then you can deal with each other. Sunnis who have problems with Shia, you can deal with them. Shia who have problems with Sunnis, you can deal with them. Your thoughts, sister?
Just for anyone who's doubting that this is all religiously motivated, notice all the religious language they're using. This is Islamically motivated because Islam is a dangerous religion. Whether it makes you whether you're a Shia Muslim or a Sunni Muslim, you notice that they are the same. People who Abbas is saying, "Oh, is the best." Muhammad said, "Do the best, have the best of manners." What manners did Muhammad have when he said, "I've been sent by terror"? That's what he meant. That's his definition of good manners. Good manners, in his definition, is to go against the enemies of Islam because you're going against the enemies of Allah, and that's what they're doing. Stop making excuses, please. We know you're playing the good cop, bad cop, there being the bad cop. Well done for playing good cop. This is all religiously motivated. They know their sources. They know what Islam is about, and they're playing it out. The difference between them and you is that they're not. They may be putting the masks on, but their actions are showing what they're doing. You're putting a mask on by pretending this is not about Islam. Islam is all about putting masks on. This is what I have to say, brother.
Okay, so all right, let's continue on.
Have man like Big T is here.
I don't care, man.
She's the number one enemy.
Deal with Hatun and them.
She's the number one enemy. That's what he just said.
Lot first, then deal with this man.
She's the number one enemy.
Deal with Hatun and them lot first, then deal with the Sunni Shia issue. You get what I'm trying to say?
Unite with us then.
Very united, they know.
Bro, stop lying, man. We don't diss Sahabas. We diss the enemy.
I'm not from. It's a public place. It's a public place.
You can't. You can't. How much work is there? You're not gonna know because that's the Prophet. Islam is a complete religion.
So these guys, they can't even get it together. This guy's Sunni, this guy's Shia, and they're about to go at it with each other. They're about to go at it with each other. Maybe says if you want to explain the little debate that they're having about cursing the Sahaba and like.
Right. So the Shia guy, the big guy with the beard, the one with the face showing, he's a Shia. Shias hate the Sahaba, like I said. They reject Abu Bakr and Omar. And the Sunnis, they're God to them almost. All the Sahaba, especially the four rightly guided caliphs, Abu Bakr, Omar, Uthman, and Ali, they love them almost as much as they love Muhammad. So they hate it when Shias badmouth them. So the Shia was like, "Oh, we don't badmouth them because they don't actually." They don't consider them as righteous. They don't consider them as true Sahaba.
Right.
So now you'll see them. The fight break out. Guys, this is a miniature of what happens when there aren't any kafirs around.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah,
when there aren't any kafirs around. So
it's like a microcosm of what actually goes on amongst the Muslim communities when there aren't like disbelievers or
around.
This guy. Yeah.
Even though Hatun is like a few yards away in the restaurant, but we're waiting for us. So while we're waiting, we might as well fight. You know what I mean? So we're not going to waste good fighting time.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
We can't fight her yet.
We came here to fight. So until she comes out, let's and of course when they're fighting each other, they're actually using their words. But I mean that's not the type of fighting they're talking about when Hatun comes out. So.
But brother, notice how long the unity lasted.
Yeah. As soon as the guy gets there, one guy's congratulate. Actually, it's the same guy. The same guy who was saying like cheering him on, like throwing out the red carpet for him. It's the same guy who
he's
said
like, hey, Big T, why you reject Sahaba? This is the spirit of Islam. No peace even when kuffars are not around.
Yes. Okay, let's continue on. Here we go.
How much work is there? You're not gonna know better than the Prophet. Islam is a complete religion. Yeah, but you're not gonna know better than the Prophet and the companions. What do you mean? He told us. The Prophet choose there. Look, stop using excuses.
What I think is, listen. What I think is, man, you should allow this.
I left him. He's the one coming to.
You're talking about unity.
Listen, allow this whole Sunni, allow this Sunni Shia thing, yeah. Do them lot first, then do the Sunni Shia thing. That's what I think.
Alright, deal with them lot first and then do the Sunni Shia thing. So the lot that he's referring to are the Christians. They've identified Hatun as enemy numero uno, number one. So let's continue on. Here we go.
First, the Muslims need to unite.
Yeah, but DCCI are obviously in a different class than the Shias,
So, sister, you're in a different class than the Shia.
I'm so glad I'm in a different class. I'm in a different class altogether. I'm
You guys are in the
living God.
passing. You guys are in the passing class.
Well,
Yeah.
they're saying, look, they're in a different class. Yeah, we know
Yeah.
that them lot need killing as well, but we
Yeah.
got bigger fish to fry with DCCI, so we need to sort them out first, and then we'll come back to the earlier fight we've been having for 1400 years among ourselves. By the way, guys, Shias and Sunnis think that Shias are kafirs, by the way, and unbelievers. I know that. That's what I used to think of them as a Sunni, non-believers. So technically speaking, Christians and Shias should be the same. Think about it, both the same level, non-believers. But because
you know, I've actually heard Sunnis say that Christians and Jews are better than Shia. That's what I've heard. So these guys, they have their own little mix. I mean, you can tell they're not all united on their views of the Shia. Some of, I mean, the vast majority of them obviously agree. Like, we can unite with even the unbelievers to take on the enemy number one, the DCCI, Hatun, right? The Christians. But then there's even within that, there's even like a fragment of Sunnis who say no, we can't even agree. So yeah, it's kind of a mess. It's a mess.
Well, both of them realize that there's one threat, and that threat is Christianity.
Exactly. Yeah, and we know spiritually. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, you go ahead.
Okay, we know spiritually that everybody who's not in the light hates the light. They love the darkness. We know spiritually that no matter what label they give themselves, atheist, rabbinic Jew, Sunni Muslim, Shia Muslim, Buddhist, whatever they are, Hindu, anything, if they are rejecting the gospel, they hate the light, they love darkness rather than light. So it doesn't matter what labels they give themselves. We know that as Christians, there are only two categories. There are only two classes, the class of believers and the class of unbelievers. Go ahead, sister. Sorry for cutting you off.
It reminds me when Pilate and Herod became best friends when they were both enemies before, because they had one enemy, and that was Christ. Get rid of Christ. This is similar. We have all kinds of people who speak up against Islam in the park. We got atheists. We got others who speak against Islam or don't like Islam. And why is it that they just single out my sister? Could it be because she's the one who exposes Islam, which is true, but also preaches the Lord Jesus Christ? So much so that she actually brought Shias and Sunnis together, which is amazing. No one can ever unite them because they want to get rid of her. So that tells you that what she's preaching is effective, and what she's preaching is the truth. If you've got everybody against her.
All right, let's continue on. Here we go.
Those guys mad, man.
Just a good bit from the church.
Okay. So here is someone from the restaurant. I forget if he's a waiter. Sorry, not a waitress. A waiter or a manager. Now check this out. Check out this interaction. So we have a masked Muslim talking to someone who works at this restaurant.
What did he say?
She said the owner, the waitress knows.
Yeah.
She can't do nothing. The owner knows the situation, but he can't do nothing.
So I don't know if that's easy to make out what he's saying, but just to translate, if it's needed, what he said is that the management, the people they know, or I think he said the waiter, they know Hatun, they know what she does, but I think he said they're in a maze. I think what he means is like, they're trapped in what they can do. So she's a paying customer, so they can't just throw her out. But I guess what he means is they're in a dilemma. In other words, they want to throw her out, but because she's paid for food, because she's there, she's unable to get thrown out for that reason. She's not actually doing anything to break their policies or whatever. So they're convincing the people. This is the same guy who went into the restaurant, who's telling just random people that are just eating at the restaurant about who DCCI are, who these people are, trying to get them against her. They expose Muslims. They call Muhammad a pedophile, and now he's going to the people who own the restaurant or work at the restaurant and telling them who DCCI are. And apparently, according to him, he says that they're well aware and they just can't do anything about it. Any comments, sister, before we continue?
My question is, brother, where is the police? Imagine you're serving someone in a restaurant. I feel sorry for the staff at the restaurant. Let's say I'm a waitress serving someone at the restaurant. A masked thug comes to me and says, "Yo, will you throw him out?" He talks about our religion. I say, "Look, I'm just doing my job." What?
Yeah.
How can?
And he went into the restaurant too. Remember when he went into the restaurant and they had to like kind of like shove him out. They had to escort him out. Where are the police?
I work in a job where I have to see the public every day. I don't care what their views are. I don't throw them out because they have a view of a certain of a certain kind. They're there for a service. I give the service, and that's it. That's what the people at the restaurant do. If a masked thug comes to me and says, "Throw this person out," I call the police. So the question is, where is the police? And why are the staff in the restaurant being harassed by strangers? Because they happen to not like what Hatun said in an earlier part of the day in a speaker's corner, which is a different place that has nothing to do with them and has nothing to do with anything.
Right. Yeah. They completely went out of their way to follow Hatun and her team to a restaurant. I don't even know how far away this is from Speaker's Corner. I don't know the geography of the area well, but I'm assuming they walked a long way to get there, or they crossed some streets or whatever. Like, it's not right across. It's not like what I mean is it's not like they just left Speaker's Corner and then boom, this restaurant's right there. Like, they walked to this restaurant, right? Like, they crossed streets, they traveled to that. These guys followed them there, and yeah. So anyway, let's continue on. Here we go.
You hear that, people? The owners inside know about Hatun and stuff.
So the owners know about Hatun, but they can't chuck her out because she's a customer. All right, let me just fast forward to another part in the video, and we will continue on. So let's go. I think it's around this mark here. Let's just play from here on.
Not some people to act or behave a certain way. People are in their car. People are sitting in their car. They can see the flag. They can see that we're doing something.
You know what it is? Some people don't know about Palestine.
Really? Big up man like Ismail.
Yeah, come on.
Big up Ismail.
Islamophobe TV and that.
See? This is it. You don't have to say anything. People see. What we're trying to do is make people see the truth. We're trying to speak to people. No point in stuff.
I mean, what are these? These guys are literally just walking out into the street, holding up their flags. Where are the police? Okay, it's 21 minutes in the video, almost 22 minutes. They've been there. First they went into the restaurant, harassing customers, Hatun and some other random people. They're interrogating the owners of the restaurant and the management, or the staff, I should say, the staff. And and now they're just out in the street, like they're just out in the middle of the road. What is up with the police in London? I mean, what's going on?
They obviously own the place. And brother, I want to ask you, people recognize that they are waving around the Palestinian flag, and then they can tell what we want to do. Yeah, what is it that they're doing? They're waving around the Palestinian flag, but they're outside a restaurant terrorizing a Turkish woman that has nothing to do with Palestine or anything.
Yeah, and the Shia guy actually said, he's like, waving a flag is not enough. So he's saying like, okay, you guys are doing good by waving the flag, but there's more to it. You have to do something else. I mean, we don't have to really speculate too far. Go ahead, yeah.
And can I ask a question? If they care so much about Palestine and they want to free it, why not go to Palestine and free it there? Why are they in the middle of London harassing and intimidating people that are nothing to do with anything? Palestine-wise.
Yeah.
Do you know why they do the Palestine flag, brother? Is because the issue of Palestine raises emotion in normal Muslims because of what they are told about the suffering of the Palestinian people. So they rile up that emotion towards any bystander, any person unrelated, like for example Hatun, that they want to focus that violence on. And then the crowd comes on them with all that passion of the sadness that they feel for Palestine and all that emotion that they rile up in them against an unrelated person. That's why they wave the Palestinian flag.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great, exactly. That's a great way of explaining it, and I think that's exactly what they're doing. They're getting all riled up. They're playing songs about freeing Palestine and all of these other things. They're waving the flags, and they're getting all hyped up. They're getting all excited, and then they just they want to use that energy to mess them up.
And they use the similar causes like Kashmir as well. You'll see the Kashmir flag.
Yeah, they use both flags. They use both flags.
Yeah, because of the passion people feel for the Kashmiri cause. Whereas Hatun is not Kashmiri, and she's not Palestinian, and she's not related to any of these causes. But they use that to rile up the emotion of violence against an unrelated person.
All right, so now we're going to hear again from the mouths of, and I might need some translation, sister. There's some like very like British expressions.
All right.
So, but maybe it's more of the like maybe it's like more of like the thuggish type of vocabulary.
Well, Sophia Films is in the chat. He's our adopted American/British person. He can.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right, okay, great. So here we go. Check it out.
Palestine! Free Palestine!
Again, I just want to point out in the middle of the street, there's a guy right. Can you see my mouse, sister? There's a guy right over there, and then a guy right here. They're literally just in the middle of the road. Like cars are. They think cars are beeping at them to support them.
They're not. They're probably telling them to get out of the way.
They think that like, oh, we're getting so much support. No, you're just in their way.
They're not.
All right, so let's continue on, and they're gonna express to their audience again. And like I said, this might get taken down. I know technically we're allowed to do this kind of thing. You know, we're allowed to comment over other people's content and other people's videos. But you know how the Muslims are with the copyright strikes and how YouTube is. So if this gets taken down, we just implore and ask you guys, we beg you guys to please spread this information, show what these guys are doing. But yeah, let's continue on. From the mouth of the Muslims, one more time, why are they there outside of the restaurant? Why did they follow Hatun from Speaker's Corner to this restaurant? What are they doing outside of this restaurant? What is their goal? What's the end goal?
Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
Fix it, yeah, that's it.
Again, sorry for the language, people. I really do apologize. I wish I could blur it out, but...
Oh, she's still in there. She's still in there, you know. I think she's too shook to come out. Yeah, we're gonna wait for her, man.
So he's saying that she's too shook to come out. She's too afraid to come out. Why would she want to come out when there's like a half a dozen to a dozen thugs out there, Muslim thugs, waving their flags that can easily be used as weapons? They're masked up. They're not. I mean, what? Please help me rationalize this, sister. Why wouldn't anybody be shook or be why would people want to just walk into that mess? I mean, are they what's going?
I think we've established that the brain cells. I know you say half a dozen, but obviously they don't have a half a dozen brain cells between them. What do you think? It's a one woman, and against how many? 1, 2, 3, half a dozen that I've counted. Grown men in masks, with thugs with probably some weapons who are waiting for you outside.
Yeah.
Why would you want to come out? I would want to stay there as long as possible. Yes.
And sister, I mean, knowing the reputation of the police in London, like imagine if they showed up and then they arrest Hatun because she came outside and like, what, you're causing the trouble. Wouldn't that's probably what would happen.
That's exactly what happened in Speaker's Corner, but in a different place. Police will come and go to the restaurant and take Hatun away because she's breaching the peace, because she made them act this way.
Okay. Look at this, sister. We have Mr. Brave Yahya, and he said, you guys call her lioness. So she should confront them. Okay. So Yahya, the brave Yahya, the guy who stood right in front of Hatun when she was getting hit in the face and didn't do anything. The brave Yahya, who is now telling us that because we call her lioness, she should go out and into this group of thugs, these group of Muslim thugs, your brothers, Yahya, your brothers, your Muslim thuggish brothers. You're telling us that she should go out there and just why? Why should she do it? Because, and he says, with her soft, nice voice. I mean, what is wrong with these people? He's saying,
yeah. You know, the reason we call her lioness is it's not because she acts like a thug. A lion is not someone who acts like a thug with some weapons and covers their face and intimidates and waits for people outside restaurants so they can F them up, as they said it.
yeah,
A lion or a lioness is someone who has the truth, who has no fear of saying the truth, which what Hatun does every week in Speaker's Corner. And if you had any, I want to say it in Arabic because I know
yeah,
he
go
knows
ahead.
Arabic. لو كان عندك أي رجولة لو كان عندك أي رجولة you wouldn't have stood
Yeah.
still while a woman next to you is being hit in the face.
عيب
And then
عليك.
عيب
عيب
عليك.
عليك.
And then when you saw her down, you walked away. مشيت وسبتها.
Ah,
When she was being attacked by a man, you left. You left and walked
no
away.
honor, no shame.
No honor,
nothing.
no shame, no Arab dignity, no nothing.
Just
So
lets a
and
woman
now,
lets a woman get hit right in front of him. He doesn't do anything.
if it was your wife inside and there were some thugs outside waiting for her to come out, would you have let your wife come out? Your daughter, if you have a daughter, or your niece? Hatun is somebody's daughter. And she's daughter of the living God. So
Amen.
she's a woman.
Yes.
So you don't have any dignity, Yahya.
None at all. No respect at all. Okay, let's continue on.
And there's gonna be a match.
Okay, right here. He said there's. Let me just rewind that. This is where they use kind of some British lingo that I don't quite understand. I get what they're saying, but maybe you can explain it a little further. So let's just back up a second. Here we go.
They were gonna wait for him, man. And there's gonna be a match. When the fuck? When
She's gonna eat the plate inside. She's not gonna come out. Yeah,
I'm gonna be quiet now.
That's what I was trying to say.
I can see that crusade.
I
can see that crusader guy in. I can see that fucking waste man crusader guy in the mirror. You know.
Yeah, big shout out to our brother who wears the Crusader shirts, who's always standing by Hatun's side. Thank God that he's in there with her. If he wasn't there, if she didn't have other brothers and sisters with her, I can only imagine what this brother who wears the Crusader shirts, he puts the fear of God in these Muslims, and so I can only imagine what they would do if he wasn't, or if she didn't have other brothers or sisters with her there. So he said this is going to be a match. Does he mean like a boxing match, or what does he mean exactly when he says this is going to be a match?
Like that. So trust me, if there was a match, that brother would knock him out with one finger. And shout out to that brother. I know who he is. Yeah. He has a lot of self-control and self-discipline. You know, a lot of practice. A lot, and he's quite godly and controlled in how he. I don't know if I had his muscles. I don't know if I could have held back. God bless him.
Amen. So pray. So all the brothers and sisters, please pray for our sister Hatun. Please pray. This should go without saying, but we just want to just bring this just in case. Please pray for our sister Hatun. Please pray for this brother who wears the Crusader shirts. Please pray for the rest of Hatun's team who's with her. Just please pray that God's protection, God's blessing, God just with them all the time, and we know that He is. We just really appreciate all of your prayers, and you guys can see the stuff that they deal with. This is again out. This is not Speaker's Corner. This is not Hyde Park. This is outside of Speaker's Corner. These guys follow them to a restaurant outside of Speaker's Corner, so they're just being harassed. So please keep them in your prayers. Sister, anything else before we continue?
You can continue, brother.
All right.
Yeah, through the mirror. You can see them through the.
What flag is that one?
Yes, big up Marshal Ayub, my brother.
Kashmir, Palestine.
Oh, the other one is Palestine.
Yeah. You got Iran flag as well, bro.
Yeah, you see Hatun there?
The tiger one. The tiger
1 second, guys.
You seen it?
Yeah, I seen it last time.
See her there, yeah, in the mirror.
Everyone, bro.
So you can basically just see Hatun right there in the mirror. You can just see Hatun. All right, just wanted to point that out in case it was hard to see.
That Crusader guy is gone.
So they think he's gone. That's gonna give them some sort of confidence. You can tell that they're afraid of that guy. And I don't want to say too much else about him. I don't want to say anything that's gonna, make him a target to these guys at all. So let's just keep it at that.
You need to have told me, brother, so I didn't gush about him before then.
No, we can let our brothers and sisters know to pray for him and to pray for Sister Hatun and to pray for the rest of their team. So so what I'm saying is they think that he's gone, and so they're gonna start getting some confidence. Let's keep watching.
Yeah, Uncle Omar's gonna see this.
Because we're the only people that are doing right by Islam.
It's coming up. Here it is.
That guy's missing.
Yeah, he's gone.
He's finished.
Yeah, he's gone.
Again, they're in the street. Again, all right. I don't need to, I guess, commentate over that. But listen to the part that's about to come up now.
She's trying to, she's gonna soften.
You know the other guy, the bald guy?
Yeah.
We came and he left straight away.
What bald
We
guy?
wanted to fight last week.
What bald?
So he mentioned him and a bald guy. I don't know who that is, but he's saying that him and a bald guy almost get into a fight, or they did get into a fight last week. So again, and he put up his fists like you would do in a fight, like a box, whatever. So they're not just talking about verbal fights; they're talking about fist fights.
Let me see if there's a candy man.
Yeah. They got candy man. Right.
Is something evidently, is it your one? Let me check.
No, it's not my one, man.
Okay, we might have missed the part. Maybe I think I might have skipped it here. Let me just go back to a part here. Oh, actually, I think that was it. I think that was it. Now let me just go back. Let me just go to. I'll just let it play out for like another minute or two. We actually got to the part that I wanted to get to, where they were talking about how they. Waiting for her to get out and the match and things like that. They said something else that I forgot to comment on. I wrote it down here, but I forgot to mention it when we went over it in real time here. But let me just continue on a couple more minutes and then we'll just end out.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Is that bald guy? He's got a camera as well.
Oh, the one that films them?
Yeah,
I think. What happened? What? Yeah, of that Christian guy. Yeah, man. Marshall, you big up, my brother.
We know that
It's never enough what you're doing.
Yeah.
Never enough.
Exactly.
Never enough.
Exactly. To try to catch up with the Prophet.
Never enough.
Yeah, bro.
The fuck's that, man? Who the fuck is
Waste
that?
man.
Pussy, oh.
Real life waste man.
Batty, man. Yeah, man.
No, them motherfuckers are big, you know? We're still eating.
Give it to bro.
Alhamdulillah, Habib Shan.
Give it Inshallah.
That's Christian Crusader.
Kashmir, Palestine. Kashmir.
هذا كشمير؟
Kashmir.
هذا فلسطين.
Yeah.
يلا كاميرات ما شاء الله. What part of Baghdad?
Alright, anyway. So here's one of our brave Muslims without his mask on. I guess that's it, sister. Any let's say like final comments that you want to give? So I just want to give an update to everybody. Sister Hatun is safe. These guys didn't actually get to her yesterday, but we ask you to please keep her in your prayers because she goes to Speaker's Corner every single week. and please keep her in your prayers, guys. Again, this video might get taken down. This video that I'm showing, this is from the the Masked Muslims live stream. This is from their channel. As a matter of fact, look at this. These guys are giving out copyright strikes and stuff. So let's just go through. They have something here. They're doing copyright claims and strikes on different channels. You guys can see here. So I kind of did this knowing that it might be a possibility that they copyright strike me. I'm willing to take the strike though, because I think it's important. I'm willing to risk it. There's a way to fight it, of course, but if you fight it, well, actually, I'm not going to expose that type of information. But anyway, sister, I just want to let people, please, guys, I just want to let people know, please pray for Sister Hatun. And you guys see, really, like, after she almost got killed in the park, getting stabbed, attempted murder. I mean, we already know the danger. We already know all of that. But what I'm trying to say is that it's not stopping. So, sister, let me just play just one more part to this, and then I guess we'll just wrap up. We'll just wrap up. So, it's at 2020, I think it was. 2020. Okay, so I just want to play this one last part, and here we go. We'll wrap up after this.
That's when we're gonna win, bro. You play the leader role. You got to play the leader role.
This woman, she's finished. She's a mortal.
You hear that? This woman, she's finished. She's a well. He said he doesn't obviously speak Arabic well because he used the masculine form of the word, but he's saying that she's an apostate. So explain to the people what that means. Maybe he makes it clear. Let me just, and then I'll pause it. Hold on.
Mortal, yeah, really and truly deserves to die. She's lucky she's in this country.
She's lucky that she's in this country. Okay, hold on. She will be finished, and he said, Wallahi, she will be finished. And look what he does with his, look at the gesture he makes with his hands. By the way, this is the same guy who was in the first video that we showed, where he was using like the gun symbols with his hands. He's very, he uses his hands a lot when he communicates. Watch this. He uses this with his hands. He makes a gesture to say, like, basically her throat's gonna get cut. Watch this.
Oh, she already knows.
She will be finished, and this guy thinks she already knows. And again, Sunni, Shia, they don't care. They just want to kill her.
She already accepted. Last time I stuck it on her. She already accepted. She said I may be finished, but blah 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 blah.
So I'm guessing I've heard Muhammad Hijab and other people say finished. We don't really say that where I live, but I'm guessing in the UK that means like in this context it means like, finish them off, right? Like kill them, right? That's what he's saying, sister. Obviously that's what he's saying, but I mean, maybe it's a more common expression to just say it like that, like she's finished. So yeah, let's continue on. Alright, so let me play that part one more time, sister, then I'll let you comment on it, okay? So just gonna go through this one more time, and then I want you to give me your comments on this.
That's it. That's when we're gonna win, bro. You play the leader role. You got to play the leader role.
This woman, she's finished. She's a mortal. Mortal, yeah, really and truly deserves to die. She's lucky she's in this country.
You humiliated so much today. So much today. She will be finished for us. You can do it.
Oh, she already knows. She already accepted. Last time I stuck it on her. She already accepted. She said I may be finished, but blah 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 blah.
Corner start.
All right, sister, your comments.
I don't know what more the police need. You got
sister. Apparently they need it in writing. Apparently they need it in writing.
Maybe they need to go and join the policeman who's writing a novel. Step aside and write it down. He's saying it on camera, and they're filming themselves. This is them filming themselves, putting it on YouTube, and this video is still online. Saying this woman is finished. She's a murtad. Murtad means apostate. That means someone who left his religion. Any Muslims who say, oh, religion of peace, Abbas, where are you? Your religion of peace. Both Sunni and Shia take what Muhammad said. Muhammad said in Sahih Hadith, whoever changes his religion, kill him. He didn't waste any words on it. Whoever changes his religion, kill him, says the founder of your religion, your violent religion. He says she's finished, and she knows that. Hatun very well knows the risk. And he says, because she knows what Muhammad says, and she knows there are people who follow him like you. I'm talking to the person saying it. And then the other person gestures to his neck. Finished. And for anyone who doesn't know what happened to my sister, they did try to execute that a couple of times before. And the Lord protected her. We need the police to start protecting people, stop turning a blind eye, and stop being on the side of these Muslims. This is a real danger. My sister, when my sister says Islam is a violent ideology, it's a dangerous ideology, she means it. It's real. It's not just exaggeration. It's not just metaphor. It's real. And it's so real that now she can't get on with her life outside of Speaker's Corner because of it. Because Muslims are now, both Sunni and Shia have united. They are persistent and they are insistent, determined to get this done. And they're saying she's finished and she knows she's finished. It's just a matter of time. Please pray for my sister because she's been let down by the law, that she's been let down by the police, and if she only has the Lord to protect her. And this is very sad, brother, and they're able to do this in the open media, in the open YouTube, and they even have the audacity to copyright strike people who want to expose it. And YouTube, what does it do? Oh, copyright has been violated, and takes our videos down that are trying to expose it and lets their videos be up where they are bragging about wanting to finish somebody off for being an apostate. This is the world we live in, and it makes me sad. And all we have is prayer because the law doesn't protect us in the UK.
Thank you, sister. There's actually one more section our brother Sophia Films directed us to, and I don't know what it is, but I trust our brother, so we're gonna play it. But one of the other things that he said was that she's lucky she's in this country. First of all, she's blessed not to be in a Muslim country. I agree with him there. But lucky, I mean, she was almost killed at Speaker's Corner in front of the police. They did nothing about it. She was almost killed, almost murdered. So I guess what he's saying is that in a Muslim country, so if it's luck that she's not in a Muslim country, or she's outside of this country, then the inverse of that would be like if she's outside of this country, then we would have our way with her. We would kill her. So it's very clear. It's black and white. The guy's not covering his face. These guys throughout this video, they show their faces. I mean, we know that London is one of the most what's the word, sister? Like one of the most, like they have cameras everywhere. One of the most monitored cities in the world. So the police, if they wanted to, they could follow these guys through cameras that they have, CCTV, and find what their faces look like. Look what their face, then compare that to like the driver's license photo, whatever they do. They have the technology to do this stuff. These guys are making blatant threats. Why do we have to make YouTube videos? Why do we have to make streams exposing them when we're not even in your country? I mean, I'm not in your country. Why do I have to make a video doing this when the police, you should be doing this? You're sworn to protect these people in your country. That's what your job is. Unbelievable. All right, so let's play this last clip our brother recommended, and let's comment on this together, sister. So I don't know what this is going to be, but let's see what he says.
judge him, innit? If he's dissing Aisha or that, man. I think it's wrong personally, but I mean, I'm not gonna judge, innit?
I'm just stating facts that is in Sunni books. If you don't like it, you don't become Sunni. If you don't like what it says in the books, if you say Aisha said this, I'm Sunni.
I think it's wrong personally, but I mean, I'm not gonna judge, innit?
I'm just stating facts that is in Sunni books. If you don't like it, you don't become Sunni. If you don't like what it says in the books, if you say Aisha said this about the Prophet, that if you respect Aisha more, brother, I just want to say, look, can you love someone? Can you love the killer and the killed? Muawiyah killed Aisha. Do you love both of them? Muawiyah murdered Aisha. Do you love Muawiyah and Aisha?
All right. It looks like he's just going on the Sunni Shia stuff. Brother Sophia Films, just write in the text if there's anything that you want us to comment on or that keep going. So I guess if not, I mean, he's, you know, okay, that was the point. Thank you, brother. So yeah, so this guy, so our brother Sophia Films is asking us, what's the difference between what this Shia guy is doing and what, let's say, so he's pointing out, so you can elaborate on this, sister, exactly what he's saying here. He's talking about within Sunni books, he's exposing them and Aisha, and you know, we know all the terrible, from the Sunni perspective, all the terrible blasphemous things that the Shia say about Aisha, and from our perspective, they're actually being truthful in terms of what the Sunni books say. So when Sister Hatun exposes what these books say about, let's say, the age of Aisha and Muhammad, which by the way is not unique to Sunni Islam, that's another topic for another stream, but we can talk about what is the age of Aisha according to the Shia books, but not for the stream. But let's say that Hatun uses that hadith to expose Muhammad as being a pedophile. What is different about that and what this guy is doing right now? So why aren't they gonna kill this guy? Why aren't they gonna hire a gang of people to tail him to his, you know, restaurant or whatever, and you know what I mean? Like, what's different? What's the difference?
There's no difference, brother. And Sophia Films is it's a very clever point. There isn't. What's in the Sunni books? Yes, it is embarrassing to the Sunnis, correct? And it exposes Sunni Islam as a false religion. What's in the Shia books is also false and exposes Shia Islam as a false religion. The difference with what Hatun does is, number one, she's a Christian, so she's not allowed to. Number two, Muslims will deny and say, no, it doesn't do that. But do you notice the honesty on the part of the Sunni? He said, I don't like it, but I can't judge. I don't agree with it, but I can't judge. That's how they really feel, and they're being honest to each other. The difference, brother, also is that there's no difference in that eventually they kill each other. There's a reason why Sunnis kill Shias. They do spill blood, so eventually it's the same in the end. And Shias do kill Sunnis. Eventually it's the same in the end. It's a religion that self-destructs. When there's nothing else to destroy, when there are no Jews, Christians, pagans, kafirs to destroy, they turn on each other like a pack of wolves. And the reason is Muhammad. Because Muhammad said in Sahih Hadith, Sunan Ibn Majah 3993, my nation will be split into 72 factions. All of them are in hell except for one. So Muhammad said there'll be 73 groups of you. All of them will be in hell except one. So each group thinks is the one. And they turn on each other because, remember, the others are going to hell anyway. So they turn on each other and kill each other off. That's basically Islam for you. Dangerous when there are no... let's say Hatun wasn't there in the restaurant, they would have turned on each other and killed each other eventually, because it's of the devil who wants the destruction of human beings. So, yeah, Shias are Islamophobes in the eyes of the Sunnis, and vice versa, Sunnis in the eyes of Shia. And they're just as bad at each other. And if they don't repent, they'll end up in the same place, finishing off their arguments in hell for all eternity. They need to leave this nonsense and come to the Lord Jesus Christ.
Amen, sister. All right, that is a very good way to wrap up the stream. I just want to issue actually, believe it or not, sister, I have to issue a quick apology. I get so excited during these things. I actually cut you off a number of times, interrupt you. I really apologize.
Okay.
It's not from a lack of respect or anything. It's just like I get so excited. I like want to comment so quickly, and I think of a thought. I don't want to miss it, so I don't want people to think there's like any disrespect or anything.
No, we don't think that. We love our brothers and sisters, and sorry if I've done the same to you.
You're good, sister. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, this evening. I don't know how long this stream will stay up, if it will stay up. Not from my end. From my end, if I have anything to do with it, it will stay up. But the Muslims might copyright strike it. So to you, the viewers, the audience, our brothers and sisters, please spread this information. Please spread this information, and please keep our sister Hatun and everyone in DCCI in prayers. We really appreciate all of your prayers. We love you all in Jesus. Thank you all. And also pray for these Muslims that, like our sister said, we must pray for their repentance. We must pray that the Lord will grant them repentance and open their eyes, and that they come to the truth. These are the persecutors, and these are the ones who are doing it for the devil. We ask God to open their eyes so they can escape the snare of the devil. So again, thank you, sister, daughter of Christ, for joining tonight. And with that said, we will end off the stream.